Hello there everyone, welcome to this week's Gran Turismo 7 Daily Race and Strategy Guide, and we are off to Sarthe Le Mans and we are in specified Group 1 machinery. Those specified cars are your LMPs, of which I think there is 8. We'll take a look at them in just a minute. The race settings for this one are 6 laps to get round, tyre wear at ×4, fuel at ×2, just the racing medium tyres available. There is a mandatory pit stop in this one, BOP is on, damage is light, it's a rolling start, and if I'm sounding a little bit more enthusiastic than normal when I do these videos, it's because Slipstream is back to real, and they've put it on real for Monza and Daily Race B as well, RPD listening. Settings allowed for this one are the brake balance, but yes, I am quite a happy chappy with this race, just due to that real Slipstream. When I seen this was the race, I thought, oh god, if this is custom Slipstream, another week where I'm not going to be racing. But as I said, it is specified cars for this one. There is 8 LMPs available, and the first thing I tested was what one is the fastest in a straight line. It is Le Mans after all, and that car is the Toyota GR010, which does 205 miles an hour down into the first chicane. And as you can see, as we go through the rest of the roster, no other car comes remotely close. Now, I think some of these do have more downforce, will be a little bit faster through the corners, but you just can't give 10 miles an hour away on the straights, of which there is, what, 5 of them on this track. You're just not going to make up that time. You're just going to get left behind in the first part of the track. Even if you're quicker through the twisty section at the end, it's just not going to make any difference. You'll just be stuck in the traffic. So yes, car selection, but it does look very much like a one make with the Toyota GR010. Next thing we tested, because it is Le Mans, it is Group 1, is what is the difference between changing the tyres and not changing the tyres. So if you don't change the tyres, you're stationary for 1.6 seconds. If you do change the tyres, you are stationary for 7.2. So that is a saving of 5.7 seconds by my very quick calculations. It's pretty significant. So if you can do the no tyre change strategy in this race, that is definitely a decent saving to make. And with it being real Slipstream and not just going to be a slip train, or quite as much of a slip train as it would normally be had it been custom Slipstream, getting in that clean air and getting space to put in the laps that you know you can do is going to be much more beneficial than it has been in some of the more recent weeks. But let's get this one underway. We're starting down in P15. We did get overtaken by the Porsche with its hybrid coming out of the chicane, and if you're starting right at the back, it's not ideal as you start in the middle of that chicane at a little bit of a jaunty angle. But we are only 5 seconds off the lead despite starting down in pretty much last place, so it's not the end of the world for sure. So let's get this first lap underway, and there is a little bit of chaos about to unfold just up ahead, and we thankfully managed to stamp on the brakes, avoid getting caught up in that instant. And then I thought this penalty we got here was a little bit unfair. Now we did run a little bit wide, but we were still on the curb, and usually that's enough to not get a penalty, and we had kind of gone slow through the corner, but nope, the game said we had breached the track limits, and that is absolutely fine. If the game says we've breached the track limits, we've breached the track limits. That's just how it is. But yes, avoiding penalties in this one is always crucial. Le Mans, the track limits can be a bit quirky for sure, so avoiding those penalties will be beneficial for your race. So we're just going to fast forward here through this first lap. We caught up in a little bit of traffic, yellow flags were out there, made up a few positions, served for penalty, back down to P10. Coming through the twisty part there, the dirty air wasn't too bad to be honest with you, despite the fact it's real Slipstream. And I decided, looking at the tyre wear after one lap, that we should be able to do 6 laps on this one set of tyres. So I'm going to come in here and do the no tyre change, save myself 5.5 seconds. Fuel is no issue whatsoever in this one. I would like to have seen fuel have been a little bit of a factor, just to kind of made that pit stop worthwhile if you do the no tyre change strategy. Be interesting to see what is the optimal, or what's the strategy that most people go for as this week progresses, because I think both of them are definitely possible. But yeah, I'd like to have seen fuel being a factor so that we're not doing a pointless pit stop as we kind of are doing here. So Le Mans does have a pretty long pit loss, kind of traditional one, but Group 1 doesn't tend to be as long as Group 3, Group 4. If you do the tyre change, you will lose 27 seconds in the pits. If you do the no tyre change, it's 21.5. So a significant saving made if we don't change the tyres. and let's see how these tyres look towards the end of the race, because not much really happened, to be perfectly honest with you, for this one. We kind of got the clear air that we wanted, we were able to lap a little bit quicker, and as people made their pit stops and got caught up in fighting with each other, we found ourselves up in 4th place. Now we were getting caught by the German driver in P5 who had changed the tyres, and they were about 4.5 seconds behind us when they came out the pits, so we were actually driving okay, we were lapping okay, but the tyre wear definitely was starting to kick in over the last couple of laps. And you can see the German is actually going to close us down to 1.5 seconds by the end. Now I have no idea what the pace of that German is. Is he a faster driver than me? Is he an equal speed driver than me? Is he slower than me? All I know is that with the fresh tyres, he was definitely faster than me at this part of the race. Now, we probably couldn't have done any better than a P4 in this one. The top 3 drivers are all very fast. Luke, Skelko and Blue Racer, probably all faster than me in pure raw pace. So P4 is not a bad result to bring this one home. And for your info, Skelko and Blue Racer did not change the tyres, and Luke did change the tyres. So the 2 drivers out in front did the no tyre change strategy. 21 minutes finishing time for this one, so a very nice length of daily race C. But let's talk over those strategy options in just a little bit more detail. So 2 strategy options are available in this one. You've got your tyre change strategy. You can pick between laps 2 to 4, change the tyres at the cost of 5.5 seconds compared to anyone that's not changing the tyres, and you will have much better tyre performance at the end. But whether you have enough tyre performance over the last couple of laps or the last 3 laps to gain back 5.5 seconds remains in the balance. It will certainly be pretty close between evenly speed drivers would be my prediction. And you have the no tyre change strategy as well. The benefit of this is you can put on any lap, put on lap 1 like we did in our race, or lap 5 if you just want to save it towards the end. You save 5.5 seconds in the pits, but you will suffer some tyre wear at the end, and you will definitely be slower for the last couple of laps compared to anyone that has changed the tyres. I don't know what strategy is going to be quickest at the moment. I would really kind of have to do more races and watch that a little bit, but that is the data, that is how things are looking depending on what you do. The tyre wear, if you do the no tyre change strategy, is noticeable, but you don't get to that point where the tyres are completely dead. There's still a good 30% left on the tread, so I think it probably will become a no tyre change strategy race, particularly in the higher splits. Lower down, I think the drivers will want the fresh tyres, but 5.5 seconds in the higher splits tends to be quite a significant gap, especially if you're not completely dying on the tyres at the end. So general positive things to say about this one: it's a good race length, it's a decent combination. I like the fact they've tried to make it specified car choices. It's not quite worked out maybe as intended. They really needed to drop the GR010, to be honest with you. Yeah, real slipstream, that's a good point for me, particularly at a track like this. It definitely doesn't need it. The dirty air's not too bad, to be honest with you. There's a bit of strategy in there. Could have been improved, of course it could. There's always things they could do better about these races, but I won't nitpick too much. I always give credit where credit's due. And also, race A looks quite interesting this week as well, PD. I think they are actually trying some different things and maybe starting to listen a little bit, but it is slow progress. But yeah, I will give PD a pass this week. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one. Goodbye now.